I would like to recognize the effort of the local government's summit on relation to the global platform for disaster risk reduction coming from the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. It's a pleasure to contribute some ideas to the organization of this event, and I would like to compliment Mr. Robert Glasser for calling for this meeting. Urbanization is an important aspect of human activity, human society. In fact, urbanization, we know that now it's growing very fast, and one of the dangers of the fast-growing urbanization is that in many parts of the world this urbanization is developing in a spontaneous manner, and when urbanization is done in a spontaneous form, it tends to be in a form of less planned structure, framework, and that makes urbanization very prone to disasters. As human population in general grows and urban human populations grows even faster, then we are opening a new chapter of risk, which is the risk of areas which are under plan, which are where the urban design is weak, and then we have overcrowding, we have poor housing, we can have problems of insecurity of buildings, lack of adequate infrastructure, lack of adequate provision of roads in urban areas, where then mobility it becomes much more difficult, especially in case of catastrophe. Therefore, what are we seeing worldwide, and this has been documented in our analysis of the 200 cities of the world, which is a sample of representative of the cities of the world. What we are seeing is that the unplanned areas are increasing in relation to the past. And this is one of the reasons why the number of victims related to disasters which happens in urban areas is increasing. The solution to that cannot be other than insist of the immense relevance of urban planning and design in order that every human settlement is done with the basic criteria, basic principles of laying out a structure which is resilient, which can adapt, can recover after a crisis. We had, for example, a very clear example was the earthquake in Haiti, and just some months later, an earthquake of even stronger force in Chile. The number of victims was totally different, and it was mainly related to the poor quality of urbanization in the Haiti areas and a much better layout of the urban pattern in Chile. Of course, that is not the solution to all the problems, but what we say, what we need to say, and we need to say it clear and loud to everyone, is that as urbanization is growing, there's a much more commitment needed to good urban planning. And urban planning is not about investment. Urban planning is just, the first phase of it is just laying out the proper provision of public space in relation to the buildable space, in order that in the proper space, in the public space, we can lay out the mobility structure, the streets, the roads, the plazas, the reserve zones, which are crucial in case of a disaster. Therefore, prevention in front of the increased resilience of cities in urban areas implies the commitment of everybody, but especially of local governments, and this is why I think that today in this conference this is a special, it should be mentioned with clarity and boldness. We need an absolute commitment to do all the efforts to do this basic urban planning right. As I said, one of the excuses that is quite often mentioned in order not to do basic urban planning is because there's no money. That shouldn't be the excuse. I repeat, there's no need to invest if there's no money. Of course, investment is better than no investment in terms of streets, etc. But only the protection of the space for the roads and keeping them unbuilt, it's already a first step which can change totally the outcome of a disaster in an urban area. I think that it's very important that those principles are clearly understood, because they can be achieved without much investment, just with political commitment. The decision makers need to understand that the best way to make sure an urban settlement is to at least and fundamentally preserve the mobility space between the different zones of the urban settlement. This could be the most important contribution of urbanization of the urban science to the preservation of life and goods in case of disasters in urban areas. The director of our program on urban resilience, Mr. Dan Lewis, is here with you. And he's going to present a book where we collect the experiences of urban resilience. And I am sure that you can share with him, and I'm sure that he will be more than willing to share with you the different knowledge that we have been building up with our long-lasting experience in managing conflicts in urban areas, in managing natural disasters in urban areas. I think that this is what Habitat has learned in the past years, and what Habitat can contribute as a way forward for the future of urbanization. Thank you very much.